Taiwan is conducting its annual military drills, simulating a response to a possible attack by China. The exercises include the first ever military drill at Taoyuan International Airport near Taipeh. Troops have practiced defending the island's largest air facility against a mock attack. The week-long exercises are happening against a background of increased tensions with Beijing. China has held its own military drills around Taiwan, and incursions of its warplanes into Taiwan's airspace are frequent. DW correspondent Yuchen Li is following this story for us and joins us now from Taiwan's capital, Taipei. Yuchen, these military exercises come at a time of heightened tensions with China. What message is Taiwan sending with these drills?
Well, the message is really clear, as some experts in Taiwan has told me. This year's drills are taken more seriously by the Chinese government than ever before, and it's kind of telling Beijing that Taiwan is ramping up its defense in response to, the potential invasion from China. And the experts also emphasize that it should be seen by the world as, like an act of defense, not an act of provocation, because most of the exercises are focused on how to defend, not how to initiate an attack. So, but Beijing is still sending warships and warplanes around Taiwan. Yesterday, there were more than 10 of them being detected, and one day earlier there were over 20 of them. So it's China's military coercion happens very frequently nowadays. So Taiwan's ultimate goal of carrying out such drills is really to deter Beijing from considering carrying out a real invasion. And in order to do so, Taiwan is trying to make the price, so high that China's President Xi Jinping would not want to pay.
Taiwan says it has learned lessons from the war in Ukraine and that this will be reflected in the drills. Tell us more about that.
Well, actually, today's drill is a very good example of how Taiwan is learning some, defense strategy from Ukraine. This morning, Taiwan carried out, for the first time, a military drill at Taoyuan International Airport. It's the largest and busiest civilian airport in Taiwan, and the Taiwanese soldiers are practicing how to prevent Chinese army from parachuting into the place and how to prevent how to reclaim a tower, a control tower, if it's taken over by the Chinese army. And this is an idea learning from Ukraine, because at the very first beginning, Russia attacked one of Ukraine's airports, and Ukraine take it back later. And this kind of reminded Taiwan's defense ministry of how important and vulnerable an airport can be, during a war.
A massive storm, a super typhoon actually, is headed towards Taiwan. What effect is that having on the drills?
Well, this is really an unexpected situation, and now the Typhoon Doksuri is kind of lingering around Taiwan's southern waters. So, and its periphery is reaching the southern part of Taiwan, and it's causing a lot of downpour and strong winds. So yesterday, one of the airport drills that was supposed to take in East Taiwan was canceled, and because the drills are going to continue until Friday, so actually we don't know yet whether or not other parts of the drills will be canceled or postponed.
Yuchen, thank you very much. That was Yuchen Li from DW's bureau there in Taipei. Well, our correspondent Phoebe Kong is also covering this story. She's in Hong Kong. Phoebe, how is China reacting to Taiwan's military drills?
Well, there hasn't been much official response from Beijing since Taiwan started its drill on Monday. But Beijing has been showing its military gestures ahead of Taiwan's annual exercise. That over the weekend, at least 45 Chinese warplanes entered Taiwan's air defense identification zone. And just 2 weeks ago, China staged a large-scale exercise on its own, sending fighters, bombers, drones, and warships to Taiwan south. And even like some of the aircraft even crossed Taiwan Strait median line, approaching Taiwan's contiguous zone. So that is considered as harassment from the Taiwanese perspective. And Beijing is doing it more often than before over the past year. So this is something that Beijing is trying to send a deterring signal to Taiwan ahead of the drill and try to intimidate the island not to overreact in terms of military aspect. And China is really stepping up its measures to really to warn against the island.
Tensions between Taiwan and China have been growing for years now, Phoebe. Some say it's just a matter of time before those tensions boil over. Where do things stand now?
Well, Beijing has been expanding its military actions for years, and over the last year, it has even become more frequent and specific, targeting the island itself. That traditionally, Taiwan's military thinking is to make use of its east coast, a mountainous coastline, to preserve and regroup its forces if any conflicts happen, because that side of the island doesn't face China directly. But Beijing is now trying to counter that kind of strategy. That over the last year, we've seen many Chinese warships and warplanes sending off to the east coast of Taiwan and even surrounding the island to try to counter that kind of strategy. And Beijing is really sending message to the island that it is taking any kind of means to take it back by force if necessary, that it has emphasized from time to time. And it has also trying to launch this information campaign, so accused by the Taiwanese authorities. So we can see Beijing is using getting itself prepared in every kind of aspects.
Phoebe, thank you very much. That was our correspondent Phoebe Kong in Hong Kong.